got a chance to see The Strangers Chapter 1. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and I am glad to be home. I spent a month in Los Angeles. We were shooting a film out there, finally getting back to work. Now I'm waiting for my next gig. I was supposed to fly out to Vermont, but that project just got moved back. I am your host, Frank Zankin, an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a board game designer. And while we were out, I did launch my classic Monsters card game. So if you are interested in jumping on board, we are fully financed through BackerKit. It's kind of like Kickstarter. But we're fully funded, so we will definitely be already planning on, fulfilling it and everything like that. So it's not like you're not going to get the game if you put money in, because it's already a done deal. So anyway, the description below has the link, so check that out. It's only $35, so it's not expensive to jump in, and we're unlocking some free stuff as we go. We just unlocked the fifth player, so yeah, jump right in there and check out the amazing artwork, and the game is fun as well. So let's jump into The Strangers. I do want to talk about spoilers, but I want to do that at the end. And there's one particular spoiler I want to talk about, and I can't, I'll make sure to let you guys know when I have that coming up so that you guys can turn me off or listen through it if you don't really care one way or another, because you're not going to see the movie. So this is a sequel. Now, it is now a trilogy, but as you can tell from the title, it is called Chapter 1. So this is a home invasion film. There has been many, many, many home invasion films throughout the years, stretching, as far back as like the 70s and things to that effect. Last House on the Left, things like that are famous for that. We'll get into my problems with it, but I was excited to see it because I am a fan of this. But as you know, it says Chapter 1. So when I saw Chapter 1, I thought they were going backwards. And they're saying this is the beginning of how these people started doing what they're doing. And, they have the three masks. And throughout the three movies, the masks have changed a little bit. But the hood guy, I think it's mostly the daughter that changed, because the daughter had, in one movie, had something different. So I was excited because I am a fan of Madelaine Petsch. Petsch, I don't know how to say it, Petsch, Petsch. I don't know how to say her name. But anyway, so I watched Riverdale until it got just monotonous. But I thought that even though the writing turned into complete junk, I thought that the actors always did a really good job, and I can tell there was a lot of camaraderie there. So having them go off and do other things, like I thought that Aja, whatever the guy who played Archie, I thought he was just gonna take off. But it seems like everybody else is doing more work than he is. It's weird. But anyway, it was good to see that she obviously didn't carry the film because the title carried the film. But it was good to see that the film is making money, and this is only going to help her career because it looks like she carried the film because she was really the only name. The other actor in here is Ryan Brown. Ryan Brown, and he has barely any credits. And I kind of think he was a little miscast. There was a little chemistry between them, but nothing major. I just didn't see him as the manly guy. He looked more like a soy boy, and I would have liked to have seen a little more of a manly man in there. A little bit more rugged, but we didn't get that. We got more of a Hollywood guy. The writers, Brian Bentino, he came back. He's the one who did the other movies. He wrote the other movies. But then we have additions, right? We have Alan Cohen and two Allens, Friedland, who are comedy writers, like King of the Hill and things like that, American Dad. They're they're primetime comedy writers, and I don't know how they got stuck on here, but they did. But they've written together. They're like a writing team. So I don't know how they ended up on a horror movie. Maybe they're just trying to, break out of doing what they're doing and wanted to jump into horror. I don't know. They were friends with somebody, apparently. So then we had Renny Harlin come in, and Renny Harlin is a decent director. He's more of a television director, which would make sense doing a horror movie because there's probably a limited amount of time. So you want somebody that's a fast director. But again, he's more of an independent and does television. He does, an episode here, an episode there, that kind of thing. And also there was one other actress in here that I recognized, Emma Horvath. This poor woman. But she's decent, but she was a very, very tiny role here. She plays the waitress that then ends up, driving them for a little bit. So, because I am going to talk about plot points in here that are pretty much on IMDb. If you read the description, that's what I'm going to talk about. But anyway, she's from Rings of Power, unfortunately, for her. She had 4 episodes in there. Apparently, it didn't do anything for her because she only had a little teeny role here. Nobody likes Rings of Power, so sorry about that, darling. Good credit, though. At least you got Lord of the Rings in your credits. But anyway, so my biggest problem with this film is that it does nothing new. My favorite one of the whole trilogy here is the second one, which was Pray at Night, because it was more about a family, and I'm a big fan of Christina Hendricks also, and she got to play a mom, and we got to see a little bit of a different dimension because we had a parenting thing going on, and my kids are in danger. So I like that one better because there was a little bit more layers to the characters. Here, the characters are very flat, and they're going through the motions of things that we've seen 100 times. They're going, we have this young couple with, a future, and that's about all we know about them, is that they've been dating for 5 years, they're not married, and at one time, he wanted to get married, but she didn't, but now she's changing her mind, and she has a new job, and he's gonna follow her to Portland, which that's a mistake. Portland is in bad shape. I don't know why they picked Portland, Oregon for that. That's a hellhole. But anyway, then again, they're from New York, so that's just as bad. But I guess they were driving there, and then of course they go to this little diner, which we've seen a million times, and then their car breaks down. We've seen that a million times. Now they have to stay in like an Airbnb, of which now, gets the home invasion. It's just recycle. There are 3 writers on this thing, and we can't get anything original. Plus, I actually missed a piece of the film because, yes, I got into another altercation over the phone thing. And this is why people don't go to the movies, man. Because people on their phones. If you want it, don't go to the movies. And it's always women. It's every single time it's women. There was one time that it was after, all the altercations I get into. Because I give people time, right? If you're on it for a few seconds, you check in the quick thing, whatever. But if you're on this thing for minutes, 5-10 minutes going by, and you're just going, you don't belong in a theater. But this is the problem, is that you're distracting people, you don't give a shit, and then, people are like, what, it's not even worth me paying, $20 to go to the movies when I got to deal with these assholes. I'll just stay at home. So, it's all the time, to the point where all the security guys know me there. And they go, did you get any fights today? I'm like, the day is not over yet. So I said to the lady, it was a whole family there. And I said to the lady, do you mind putting the phone away now? And I gave her time, but she was doing this. And she's like, she didn't really say anything to me. She put it away, and literally 30 seconds later, she's back on the phone. 30 seconds. She didn't even wait for me to turn around. So I said, you know what? I'm not doing this. And the theater was pretty full, so it wasn't like it was just me and them. But I don't care. I don't care. I got up and I said, you know what? You're not watching the movie anyway. Let's go to security. You and me. Let's go right now. We could tell them everything that you're doing here. You tell them that you're gonna be on your phone. You're not watching the movie. Let's just go. And she's like, no, sir. No, sir. I'm going to put it away. I still see it in your hand. It's still on. And she's like, I'm putting it away. Put it away. So she finally put it away, and she said something nasty to me, and I said, what the fuck did I say? I said, shut the fuck up. And she's like, you can't talk to me that way. I said, I'll talk to you any way I want. So I sat back down, and I see her like put her hand on the dude that was next to her. It was a young kid. I could have taken him easy. And so we continue, but now I'm not really enjoying it because now I'm what are they doing? Blah blah. My mind's not on it. And then like maybe 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, I see the kid go out to security. He's obviously not aware that I know them all. So the security guard comes back into me. I said, "You want to talk to me?" Meanwhile, everybody, I mean, we've now started like a fucking feud with everybody having to deal with this shit. I would love to apologize to all of them, but But anyway, so the security guard comes and sits down next to me. He said, "You good?" I said, "Look, she was on the phone for minutes. I asked her politely. She didn't want to put it away. I went back over there. I said, let's go to security. She said something smart to me. I told her to shut the fuck up. I told him everything." And he said, I said, "If you're going to take me out, you got to take all of them." He says, "I'm not taking anybody. I just want to make sure you're good." And I said, "Well, I can't, me, I can't not say something when people are using the phone." So he says, "All right, as long as you're good, we're good." So we walked out. He walked over to them. He said something to them real quick and then walked out. And she didn't take the phone back out the whole rest of the time. And I was ready for a fight. I was ready for the kid to come up to me afterwards. I was ready. I was so ready. And he didn't. As soon as the credits rolled, they were out the door. They were out the door so fast they were practically running. I don't know what the deal was, but whatever. But anyway, so they missed it because there was a post-credit sequence. Not that it was important, but anyway. All right, so jumping back into the actual review, now that you've heard my whole story of my fights in the movie theater, I'm not dealing with it. Sorry, I'm too old for this shit. But anyway, there's nothing new in here. Is it worth seeing? If you like Madelaine Petsch, it's worth seeing. If you like the genre, if you like The Strangers, it's worth seeing. And I'm going to tell you why when we get into spoilers, but the ending is different. That's all I can tell you without going into spoilers. The ending's different. But, again, we've seen all of it. We've seen the cabin in the woods. We've seen it all. I can't understand how 3 Hollywood writers can't come up with something new. Even in the home invasion genre. Because I think that the Prey at Night one did not take place in the cabin in the woods. It was like, it wasn't the same one. So they could have put them anywhere. Kind of like what they do with Scream. I like what they're doing with Scream. Now it's in the city. Now they're changing the what the thing is. But we don't know anything about these guys, these bad guys. And I think that's a mistake too. I think we should know something about them. There's a guy missing in the very beginning. We know that they killed him. And that, it just goes on from there. It's like, it had nothing to do with the rest of the film. So, Anyway, let's jump into the spoiler real quick. So because this is the only thing I have to talk about. Well, I'll grade it in case you're wondering. So this is probably not a movie I'm going to see again. It's not like Madelaine got naked or anything, so there's no reason for me really to see this movie again. So especially when that movie was better. And so I'm going to probably give it a 6. It's better than average because the acting is good. We don't really get to see any real kills or anything like that throughout the whole thing. So it's not like we got to see any gore. It's more of a thriller because it's them trying to escape, And the three people give them every opportunity to escape so that they can track them down and stuff to that effect. So every time they think they're getting ahead, they're really not. All right, so let's jump into spoilers real quick. So let's count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is the first one I think that we have a final girl, which is why they call it Chapter 1, because it's actually taking place after and it's setting up, I guess, a new trilogy. So now they're going to probably change something, because now that we have a final girl here, we can now see her kind of getting her revenge for the death of her boyfriend. So that's interesting. That's interesting because we have not seen that with this. So I am looking forward to this next movie, even though this is not. I don't know if it's a trilogy or if they're just going to end it in the second movie. But that's why they call it Chapter 2. It literally says to be continued. So I thought that was interesting. But and then we got the post-credit sequence where she gets up from the hospital and he's lying in the bed, which is really weird. That was just weird. All right, so that's it for me. So again, if you want to just have a good scary movie, it's got some good scares. It's just not original in the least. Just absolutely nothing original about it. Just nothing. All right, so let's remember to also like and subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, please do. It is free. There's no reason for you not to press that little bell and go ding ding. Also give me that thumbs up. That also helps with the algorithm. And remember to look in the description below for Myth Lords, classic monsters where you can play as Dracula, Frankenstein, etc. And the artwork is excellent by Mark Spears. He does comic book artwork, comic book cover art. And then we have the expansion, which is Dark Wizard of Oz. You can play as Dorothy and the Wicked Witch, and we also have the other witches in here, and Cowardly Lion, and Tin Man, and Scarecrow, and all the rest. So these are really good too. So it's not expensive to get into it. And it's not hard to learn either. It's a deck builder game. All right, so check that in the link below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm glad to be back and doing some more videos. And let's see how many I can do before I go out of town again. All right, talk to you guys soon, and thanks again. All right, check out some other videos that are going to pop up here as well.